A big topic that comes across on social media, on email, or when people are writing in general is the topic of addressing them and not you. So, talking straight to your ICP's problems, what they're doing, how they're doing it, making it about them actually gets them to perk their ears, right? And come to you because you're talking to their pain points, their wants, their fears, their aspirations. And that really, really works, don't get me wrong in there. But one thing that I found that's worked in my favor is a leadership element because leaders lead and there is a need for leaders, right? You need to give somebody a reason to follow you. So when I use how I do something instead of how you, then it automatically makes the content a little bit different, right? Now, it's not simply how I write posts. There's a bigger philosophical element to that how I that gets people to feel that sense of leadership. And I don't do it often, but one thing I do is I talk about the plan that I have and I make it public online. So the other day, for example, on LinkedIn, I came back to an old post that was talking about how I plan to make 1 million this year. And then I referred back to it after 5 months. And I also refer back to it in micro chunks on a monthly basis to show progress. And people love that kind of stuff because they get immersed in your universe. They get to see the lessons. They get to see the mistakes that you made and the successes along that. And again, they keep coming back due to the nature of that plan and the leadership behind it. So if you make a plan out in public, it's not the same as documenting your journey because this is a leadership standpoint. It's saying, here's how I'm going to do this thing. And you're not documenting your journey every day. You're busy, you're doing what you're doing. And then you're referring back to that on occasion. So it actually becomes like a leveraged power asset. And I think that's something to consider in your writing because a lot of people have jumped on the how I wagon, but to talk about little things like how I write a sales email, how I write a post, but actually having a plan and talking about how you're going to get to that plan induces that leadership. And that leadership is something that nobody can replicate because it stems from you, your ideas, your methodologies, and your philosophy. And philosophy is a really big part in the online business. I speak for the coaching and consulting business, but that can apply anywhere because your philosophy is what makes you different. Your philosophy is what makes people buy into you before buying into what you do. So for example, if somebody is a solution-aware buyer, and a solution-aware buyer is somebody who already knows they have a problem, they're aware of it, they're aware of what solution can fix this problem, but then they'll buy into the person because the tactics and the strategies don't vastly differ. So for example, the way that I pick my accountant, I know that he's going to do the books, but I pick him because we support the same basketball team. And it could be as simple as that. Like our philosophy is married through basketball. But that is like an exaggerated example. So in the coaching space, when you have your philosophy and your belief system, people will buy into you and your character trait. So one side of it is like, let's say I talk about my plan and I list it out in public, but the philosophy that backs the plan is the way that I'm going to do it. So in my world, it's a one-person business. It's low stress and high leverage. It has to do with making offers every day with less sales and marketing. It's inbound driven, not outbound driven. It doesn't include follow-ups and sales calls, right? So then if you want to scale a really big team, yes, I can help you, but I don't want to. So I'm also doing an anti-sale there and repelling those people who want to scale big teams with appointment setters and closers and managers, etc. I'm talking about a one-man business, doing it through inbound, through workshops, through, like a school community, for example. And in doing so, it resonates with other people like writers, web designers, animators, creatives, essentially online service providers who don't want to scale that big team. And I think philosophy is really important because there you can show your true colors, the plan that's inside you that nobody can replicate, and it also gets people to bond with you. Now that paired with the plan gives you superpowers because they buy into you. And to top that off, obviously you can weave in elements of what you do and how you do it. So, and that could be lifestyle based, you like to travel in your free time, you like to spend your money helping charity, for example, instead of buying fast cars. One thing that I weave in is, from my background being a jazz musician for 15 years in the past, I'm a hippie at heart. And I talk about that and I'm vocal about that often because it also attracts like-minded individuals who may not want the luxury lifestyle and want the freedom lifestyle. So all of this is something really cool for you to think about when you're doing your content online and building yourself the brand that you are. I hope that's useful for you today.